Welcome to Literal BS, the podcast where we shed some light and uncover what's happening in the United States today. In a world saturated with information, it's easy to feel lost in big media or to suspect that the narrative you're being fed isn't the full picture. This isn't about partisan shouting matches. This is about informed discussion, critical analysis, and empowering you with the knowledge to understand the systems at play. Because in a free society, an informed citizenry is the ultimate check on power. So, if you're tired of the literal BS and ready for a deeper understanding of what's truly going on, you're in the right place. This is Rob, and let's get started. What happens when the very institutions designed to protect our Constitution become the ones dismantling it? When the executive branch operates like a king and the courts that should stop them instead look the other way? Right now, in America, we're witnessing something unprecedented, a systematic breakdown of the checks and balances that have protected our democracy for over 2 centuries. Executive orders are replacing legislation. Agency bureaucrats are writing laws Congress never passed. And federal judges, the supposed guardians of constitutional law, are rubber-stamping it all. This isn't about Republican versus Democrat. This is about power versus the people. About whether we're still a constitutional republic or something else entirely. And today we're going to expose exactly how this is happening, the specific mechanisms being used to gut the Constitution, the court cases that sold out your rights, and the executive actions that would make the founders roll over in their graves. Because here's the truth they don't want you to know. Every time the executive branch grabs more power and the courts let them get away with it, you lose a piece of your freedom. And once it's gone, it's almost impossible to get back. So buckle up. What you're about to hear will change how you think. Let's start with what should be obvious. The executive branch is no longer just executing laws, it's making them, enforcing them selectively, and punishing those who dissent through a growing addiction to executive orders. Through weaponized federal agencies. Through administrative rules pushed out without public consent. Take the Biden administration's repeated attempts at student loan forgiveness after the Supreme Court said no. They tried again anyway under a different name, and the new Trump administration is doing the opposite. Prioritizing taxpayer protection, stricter repayment enforcement, and a reevaluation of federal involvement in student lending and higher education. That's not service to the people, that's legal manipulation. Then there's the climate agenda. Instead of working with Congress, they're using the EPA and Department of Energy to force sweeping regulations without a single vote. The courts are supposed to be the last line of defense. But when you look at some of these rulings, especially at the federal level, you start to see a dangerous pattern. Judges are appointed with agendas, not impartiality. Courts are upholding vague agency powers. Rulings that dismiss constitutional rights in favor of bureaucratic convenience. Federal courts are upholding the ATF's unilateral decisions on gun accessories without congressional approval. Judges are blocking states from securing elections while defending censorship disguised as misinformation management. And perhaps most concerning, the courts refusing to challenge blatant violations of the First and Fourth Amendments when it comes to surveillance and speech control. It's all adding up. The executive grows more aggressive and the courts stand by and nod. The message is clear: government grows, liberty shrinks. What does this mean for us when we're trying to live free, raise our kids, protect our family, and speak the truth? It means censorship through big tech partnerships, weaponized investigations of political opponents, legal double standards based on ideology. Schools are pushing government-aligned narratives while silencing parents. It means the rules are being rewritten and you're the target if you don't fall in line. Your speech, your guns, your vote, your data, your parenting, none of it is safe if the government decides you're on the wrong side. But here's the good news, it's not over. Not yet. The Constitution is still in place. But it's only as strong as the people who defend it. Know your rights, read the Constitution. Study the Bill of Rights. Challenge federal overreach at the state and local level. That's where real power still lives. Demand accountability from judges. Expose their records. Speak up before confirmation, not after. Support voices outside the establishment. Independent journalism. And censored platforms. Podcasts like this one. Vote like freedom depends on it because it does. Today wasn't about outrage. It was about reality. We're not conspiracy theorists, we're constitutional realists. Don't wait for someone else to save this country. Be the resistance to the silence. Be the force that speaks truth, and with that, let's take a moment to reflect on something that's often discussed, sometimes debated, but always foundational: our rights as U.S. citizens. In a world that feels increasingly complex, where the lines between oversight and overreach can blur, and where the constant hum of information can drown out fundamental truths, it's easy to forget the power we hold. Our rights aren't just abstract concepts debated in courtrooms or enshrined in dusty old documents. They are the very bedrock of our freedom. They have the right to speak truth to power without fear, to assemble and demand accountability, to question authority, and to have our voices heard in the halls of governance. They serve as the shield against arbitrary power and form the foundation of our pursuit for a better life. Don't remain on the sidelines, because the moment you stop speaking, they win. This is Rob, and see you next time.